So here we are in Valley of Triumph, and we are going to just head right on in. There's our first stars over to the left here. Again, stars may move, so these may change without notice and may not be where I say they are now, but obviously they were at one point. Don't have to do anything to collect that when you just fly by it. And of course, I'm going to head back and collect candles, which you can do. You're not quite as oppressed by the gravity as you were in Journey's sliding level. You can climb back up a little bit. It's almost like That Game Company has just given you the ability to do this now. In the earlier versions, it was harder to do this. You were quite fighting. Now you're still fighting a little bit, but it's not horribly difficult. And there are candles along both routes down here. Oops, some visual glitches there. But there's a little tunnel down here. If you go off to the left also, there are some candles to collect that way. Tunnel here has some candles. This tunnel used to be a lot more hidden. I know I didn't notice it until somebody took me down it one day. A long time ago. And then this one is a little harder to miss. It used to be a lot more hidden than it is now. It also used to be a lot more icy. This has snow on it now. Still has the candles though. Oof. And down here. And I'm going to pause at the bottom here rather than shoot into the next section because I want to get the star that's off to the right. So normally you would fly right off of this ledge and into the next section. And I'm just going to stop, and you'll still see this cutscene. This is the scene of you shooting into the area. This is the ice rink. And again, more visual glitches. This is the ice rink area, referred to as the ice rink. Here's your star, which is right above the ice rink on the wall, right outside the tunnel you come in on. You do have to collect him. And then there's an emote down here, and apologies for ignoring people, but I was ignoring people. So, oof, I fell. Karma, you know, ignore people, fall, okay. And I'm looking for him going, oh gosh, where did he start? I don't remember. So, and then I fell down, and it's like, oh, there he is. He's down there, down there. This dude wasn't giving up. Hello. Okay, we're all friended now, and so fall off, and there he is. And this is where I noticed it's the colors, because he has the yellow cape on the end there. Most of my characters have orange, and one has brown. I just love the colors. It's very autumny. So we're getting this one was added with the child, the spirit's child. It's very adorable. That wasn't in the original. Then I fell again. This is ice and snow. It is slick. In reality, it is slick. Ice is very slick, and it's quite slick here. This is your hands to hips. No, sorry. Yes. Yes. Hands to hips. Hands on hips. Emote. Stance. Standing posture. And the little child is so adorable. Yeah, that's what you want to do right on the edge of an icy cliff. But I like this scene right here. It's very cool with the mountain there in the distance. And he's going down into the race building. You can kind of see the race. This is a new scene. You didn't used to have that detail past that into that building. So that was a bit unfinished for a while and is now finished. You have 2 entrances to the race. That's the first race. On the wiki, I identify that as race number 1. Race number 2 is down that bridge you see directly ahead, going straight up the top of the screen. That actually goes into the Citadel. It's protected by a Constellation Gate, and that then goes into race number 2. Whoops. So now there is a section below the ice here. If you go into the water pond, and there is a star down here. Hopefully there still is a star down here. For right now there is. This whole section was added after quite a while. Suddenly there was something down here. There used to be candles down here, no longer. There's just the star, and that's about it. And jellyfish. I think there are still jellyfish. But I guess the thing is here, you're underwater. Although you're still running like normal. But anyway. That direction is the way back that you came in. There is still, I believe, a 2-person door down here along the perimeter. It used to lead to a seasonal emote. It no longer is. So if the door is still there and you go into it and there's nothing there, that's why. The seasonal emote is gone. So there again, Constellation Gate to the left there. Are we going to go to it? I think we are. I don't remember now. I think we're collecting candles. Constellation Gate is right here to the right. Goes to the Citadel and the race number 2. It is blocked. You have to have 2 emotes from Prairie. I'm sorry, 2 emotes from Valley, this level. You can only collect 1 at this point. There's only 1 available to collect. So you cannot get that on your first playthrough unless you're with somebody who already has access. You can always follow somebody who has access. If you're holding their hand, you'll go with them. So I'm going to head on down to my race building. This is most like the old race that was in the original beta. It's a sliding race. You slide down slopes. You used to actually race. You actually collected butterflies. You had the red side and the blue side. No longer. It's now a light quest. So you collect light fragments. There's no competition. There's no score at the end. There used to be a score at the end and everything. You had the red blue side and the blue side and how many of each side collected, and the one got the fireworks and the colors, and not any longer. Now you just collect light fragments. You're rewarded with a candle at the end of the race. So it's really not a race anymore, but it's what we've called it for so long. I don't think anybody has even thought to change what they call it. I think my new friend is going to ditch me at some point here. The buildings for both races look the same, except when you look out, you see something different. The other one looks very different from this. There is 1 emote, so there's the light fragments to collect, and there's 1 emote. The emotes look just like the blue emote orbs that you've seen elsewhere. The little blue butterflies that they used to be sparkles that we would collect that were very, very reminiscent of Journey. They're gone. Now it's blue, a little blue orb of light that you'll collect that is different from the light fragments you're collecting for the quest. Once you collect a light fragment, you'll see the thing come on the side of the screen right there, telling you kind of where you're at, how many. You can actually stop and collect all of these. You can stop on your way. I didn't bother. But you can actually collect all of these on your own because you can just walk back up, walk over. This is not nearly as oppressive as the race was, or the sliding level was in Journey, which this is so much like. You can definitely see similarities. There's a lot of similarities to Journey in this game. It's made by the same people, and they're using the same basic story building technique or world building technique that they used in Journey, of the levels and what the levels represent, where they get the levels from. So our first emote orb is coming up on the right. And if you're familiar with the old race from the old beta and old live versions, in the same place as the first sparkly was, which is right here in this structure. And there's only one available on this race. So here I am making sure I have it. And he's going to follow me to the bottom. So there's our second emote that we need. There's actually... So now it's just a matter of collecting the light fragments if you want to. It does help you get more candle. You'll always get one candle, but I think you can get more than one, a bit closer to two. And then there's one star available here, at least as of this recording. And I'm going to keep saying that because God knows if I don't, somebody's going to come back, well, the star's not there anymore. Well, you know what? It was when I recorded this. Sorry. Subject to change without notice. Sometimes I do have had trouble, not lately, in the past, with people, when you're connected to other people, the people on the ends getting the star that you collect. So you collect it in the middle, you collect it yourself, but the person on the end doesn't get it. I've had that trouble sometimes in the previous. I hope it's been fixed. It seems to have been fixed. So that's why I'm going back and forth when I do this, because I'm afraid I'm missing it for somebody, so I'm checking. That is notoriously bad about disconnecting people. That entrance right there, and it seems to also be fixed. A lot of things have gotten fixed in these updates. A lot of things have gotten broken, but a lot of things have gotten fixed. Another star down here. Now this is a shared part of the course. So this is shared between race 1 and 2. So you'll see this star now, but you won't see him again on when you do race number 2. He's only there once. This is the shared part. You just came into the other race. And then more light fragments. And then again, same stadium. So again, the stadium emote will be the same whether you did race 1 or race 2. And you'll only collect it once. This now takes us directly into the end of the quest, which is slightly different, but it was the end of the race. So now you're at the end of the quest. And you get this little animation scene here. This used to be where you got your score, red side and blue side. Now you just get your candle, however much candle it's going to give you. And you will also, once the scene ends, see your emote. And there's the emote that's available. This is the the crossed arms stance. So it used to be the red side or the blue side would light, depending on who, or both sides would light red or blue, depending on who won. So there we can get the crossed arm stance. And then the other 2 emotes, there's 2 more, are on the other race. Now there is 1 star here and 1 emote here in this area. The star is to the left, the emote is to the right. This star has already moved once. It used to be off to the right. Now it's off to the left. There he is. And then this emote doesn't show its light very well, but you can kind of see it directly ahead. He took me a while to find him the first time, because it's like I don't see the green reflection. There it is now. He's moved quite a bit. He used to be down below, down at the bottom of the stairs of the arena. So he's moved up and over. This is kind of a cool sequence, though. This is brand new. The cheer emote was missing for quite some time. And she's back, and she's changed. So just little people cheering in the stands. It's kind of cool. Seeing that gives you this whole feeling more of emptiness here, though, now that they're all gone. Okay, so now we're going to head into our final room where we have our elder scene, where we actually have our spirits waiting for us. And we should have 3, I believe. So we have the 2 that we need. There's a bunch of candles here. They light themselves. You light the first ones and it's a domino effect. And this elder scene has also changed quite a bit, not in a lot of people's opinion for the better. I preferred the other one, but hey, it is what it is. And again, our light is missing, so I think there is light in the scene now. This part, the part with the twins has changed, but this part with you in it has not. It's very cute, and people love this. I love this. It's very cute, the way you react to everything that's happening in the scene. That used to be longer and quite a bit prettier, but they shortened it, changed it. I would say perhaps they were getting complaints about how long they were, but that prairie one is one of the longest. Anyway, don't know. You are able to skip them after your first time. This is a bug where you are coming out under the floor. I'm pretty sure it's been fixed now. But people are... Okay, holding hands with myself, getting all that going is probably the hardest part. I'm not quite sure why that transition is right there. It's a little startling every time it happens. And whoops. I actually came up wrong. Okay, got all my people back together, and we will move on. This section is new. It's been most recently added. This flight from Valley to Wasteland, the next level. There is finally a rest area / social space added. First time I tried to land at it, I missed it. It's easy to get caught up in the winds that pull you down into Wasteland. However, I think that's been improved now. I'm not sure. I hang to the left here so I don't miss it. Like I said, most of these people are me. One of them is not. One of them is actually a new friend there on the left in the yellow cape. But I lost him, or he'd moved on or something. But I suddenly didn't have him. So all of this is brand new, and then you have this space here. So I feel like this has been improved as far as reaching it. First time I tried to reach it, I zoomed right past it. Got pulled into the whirlwind, the whirlpool. And here's our closet. The emotes that we collected in the last area. Bonfire, social space with chat table, chat bench, and your portal back home. Again, this is where you will appear when you actually enter the portal to Wasteland from home space. 2 chat benches, seat 2 each. I was looking at our capes. I really liked the capes, the colors. It just looked very autumny. Especially with the addition of that other player's yellow. That one of these stones is actually pretty sure a seasonal emote. So you're often going to see one stone you cannot collect because it's a seasonal emote. There's my trousers. I want those back. But they're probably pretty expensive. Alright, so that is the end of our first run through Valley. Now we get to do another to get the rest of everything. The one thing about Sky is that you never have to play it linearly. It is not a linear game. Yes, it has a linear progression. It goes from place to place, level to level, and you do level up as you go. But you never actually have to go straight through the game. You need to finish it at some point. Finishing it does have its rewards. But you don't have to go from one place to another before you can revisit the old place. Which is a little bit different from some other games where you have to at least finish it once straight through before you can go back to visit an area you've already been to. The only caveat to that, the only exception is Isle, where you cannot revisit it until after you've finished Prairie. It tells you can't revisit until you finish the journey, but that's not true. You can revisit it after you finish Prairie. Other than that, you can go back to every level as many times as you want before you've ever finished the game once. So for that reason, I feel kind of weird having not, doing a playthrough without going straight through the game. But at the same time, you don't ever have to go straight through the game. You can keep on going back to Prairie Mountains, Prairie Valley, Forest Valley, Prairie, Forest, Wasteland. I mean, you don't ever have to go level to level in order. There was a survey that I decided not to do. So now we're going to go through, you see our gate here is no longer green, which means we have what is required, which was, I think, 2 emotes from Valley. Forgive me if I keep saying mountains, but it's been mountains for a while now. When it was first mountains, I was calling it Valley. And then here's our way into the Citadel. It is called the Citadel by TGC. It resembles a model of the cosmos. It's kind of cool. There is, I think, still an active quest here for a candle. There's also an emote quest for a voice, a call, but no, I don't think it is active anymore. That used to be a candle quest. It might not be active anymore. I didn't see a meditate. Instead of off to the right, over that way, to the right, there is also a platform you can sit on. It has a little meditate icon on it. And that gets you the Manticore. I didn't stop for here, but I'll tag it on to the end. Here's our other emote that's here. This is the handstand emote. This used to be a pain in the butt of a quest. It's a lot easier now. You can just run along following it. The spirit leads you now rather than you having to lead it, which is very nice. Because you can fly. You can just fly to the next spot rather than have to walk the whole way. It was just long. It was easier than some, but it was very long because you had to walk the whole way. It takes you all the way around. Or at least halfway around. Maybe it's 3/4 of the way around. I went too far. There are wind streams here that carry you off. So sometimes it's hard to keep control of yourself and where you want to go. And finding which one you want to actually light is also a challenge. Where is he? Okay, it's Chirp. There he is, that little blue beacon icon. There are 2 beacons. There are beacons when you are doing a quest, and there's also a beacon that shows you the end of the area, where you're headed. If you chirp and you're lost, you can chirp and a yellow icon will show on the screen, basically telling you which way to go. Kind of your compass. I think it's halfway around. Here's the end of it. And off that way is the race building. There are 2 stars in this area. One is on the wall outside below where we are, a little off to the left. Wait, which way are we facing? Off to the right of where we are on the outside wall. And the other is up above where we are. I don't remember how easy it was for me to get to this one on this day. It can be a challenge. It can be very easy. I once just dropped right onto it. Other times I've struggled. I'm still having some issue with emotes locking me up. So now I'm going to attempt to get this one without having to fly around for it. So you see these little... One more. There it is. Whoops. Get out of there now. Not good. Okay. And then the next one is up. Thankfully, we have the help of some wind streams that are helping us go up, and it's on the other side. Oof. And there are candles, and I'm not sure they're pre-lit or if somebody came up here and lit them already. They're not usually lit. It's nice when candles are pre-lit. It just saves time. It's also nice when somebody comes and lights them ahead of you. Also saves time. Your time, not theirs. I'm almost to the next. Yeah, it does. One more. I was wondering if this was... Yeah, of course it is. It's the reset. Tells you the tip now tells you how many stars you have left to your next upgrade. So I'm at 6 wedges now, so I have 1 more star to my 7th. Or is it? I can't see that very well. I have 5. It's 1 more star to my 6th. You end up with 7. If you collect them all before the final area, you end up with 7 wedges. The beginning of your 7th wedge. Okay, here is the Manticore beginning section place. I actually attempted it. I failed badly on this one, so I didn't continue. But here's the beginning section of it, where you begin it. And we will come back to that. I didn't want to bore you with my failure. It was a probably 20-minute long failed attempt at doing it. I finally figured out how to get it done, so I'll explain that when I actually come back to it later. Not everybody is having the same trouble I did. Maybe they just have a way of doing things a little differently with what they touch and how they move, but I did figure out how to get it done, at least so I could collect the emote, but just not right there. So now we're going to move on to this race building, which looks very similar to the last race building. But when you go outside, it looks very different. And you'll see it right here as soon as it pans out. It's a flying race over the clouds. And this was never an actual race. This is more of a collaborative effort to catch as many light fragments as you can to maximize your reward at the end. However, I have only once, I've never done this with a group of people who weren't all connected. So you don't maximize how many fragments you can get if you are connected to your companions. You've all got to do it yourselves, be separate. So you'll maximize, assume you will maximize the candles you get at the end if you're several people all each flying, collecting fragments, because you'll collect more fragments. As you'll see, I barely make a dent in my meter over there on my own. I cannot control 4 people individually. There's no freaking way. Now there are 2 emote orbs and 2 stars, and the problem is they're in sets. So there's emote orb star, emote orb star. No, star emote orb. And they're very close to each other. So it's a challenge to get them both at the same time, but I managed it. So over there to the left is the orb, to the right is the star. The orb is at the beginning of this little hallway. The star is at the end of the hallway on the other side. So make a quick dash to the other side. And there's the star child over there after I get a little bit out of control. Okay, made it. And make sure all my people made it. Okay, so there's one done. So a bit of a challenge to get them both, but it is doable. Same with the next one. So collect more light fragments, barely making a dent because there are a lot of them. So it really takes multiple people to be doing it to catch a good number of them. You still get a candle at the end, 1 candle, but you can get more if you have more people each collecting. I assume you can. I've not, like I said, not experienced it myself because I'm never here with other people. Valley is probably the level I spend the least amount of time in, other than the final level. Okay, you can see the star already, where it is. It's glowing there on the right. And then the emote orb is on the structure down below it on the left. You can kind of see it too. See the gold on the right, the blue on the bottom on the left. So we're going to hit the star. Hope everybody got it because it's an immediate dive down to hit the blue in this little structure. And of course that Kate meter is right in my way. Got him too. Now this transition has been problematic in the past, but it seems to have been smoothed out. I was always disconnecting from companions on this transition. Didn't happen today, as far as I remember. The disconnecting from companions is always annoying. The disconnecting from yourselves is really, really, really annoying. Because you have to stop and reconnect rather than have another person So here I'm going to actually go for all of them. And still barely making a dent, because I missed so many earlier. I have 2 emotes. And then we've collected both stars, so there's nothing else, no other stars to collect. Because again, this is the shared part of the race. And I think I remembered to stop and turn around for where the other race enters this where they come together. It's off to the right, a little ways down yet. I might have forgotten on this one. It's right above where we are. Did I turn around? I did. It's right. Ack. It's right above to where we are, off to the right behind us is where we come together, because the star is right down here. Yeah, I forgot to turn around. Oh well. Oh, there it is. Right there on that opening right there. There's a light fragment too. That opening right there at the top of the hill though. That's the other race's entrance to the stadium. To this part of the thing. So, same course here. We're on shared course. The star is below us right there. And for some reason, I was able to collect the cheer remote again. So she's going to end up in my cutscene. I didn't include it in this. I skipped it in the video. But I'm cutting it out. But she is going to end up in my cutscene in my Elder. Here I am doing flips because I realized I was doing flips when I swiped down. So I'm trying to fly around. That the cutscene is going to catch me. There it is. So I still get this cutscene, so it's still a quest. Both races are a quest. I'm actually not sure this was the same exact run through. It was the same day, and then Tracy joined me, so I'm going to skip some stuff. And so here's our 2 emotes. I do not know which is which. I don't know which orb was which emote. So on the wiki, I just have them both here. I'm not sure which is which. In previous versions, bow was the middle one and backflip was the last one, so I'm assuming it's the same. So this is this is bow. Lucky Tracy already looks like herself again. She's glitching as she joined us. Okay, so wait for him to go. And then come over here to get backflip. And he does a forward flip on one of the upgrades. Or you do a forward flip on one of the upgrades. And I'm going to cut some stuff out here, I think. There we go. We're going to go into the final room. Again, like I said, I did end up for some reason, being able to collect the cheer remote. So that ancestor spirit's going to show up in my scene. But other than that, it'll be the handstand and then the 2 on the race. The back flip and bow. And I did skip this cutscene and it still worked. So some of the cutscenes do work to skip. It's just Prairie that, I know it's Prairie that does not. I don't know if any of the others absolutely don't. I skip it and the emotes still went up to the sky. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to skip the rest of this because Tracy and I just went flying around. So now we're going to go back to where I did the Manticore emote. So you'll see clearer where it is. If I go straight to it. And you'll kind of see how I did it. Yeah, that's no longer a quest. Okay. So there's just the Manticore quest in here now. The light quests were neat. They were creature quests. They were cool. They've just gone away from them. There was nothing wrong with them other than that. There was nothing wrong with them. So the platform to start this is off to the right here. There it is. They're going to have to fix how covered in cloud this gets. This doesn't seem so bad right now. So then we start the quest. This should... It seems like it should give you a candle. You'll see at the end the quest never finishes. Now, the trick here that I found is when you're in the middle, swiping down does not put you into a dive. But on the perimeter, outside the center area, swiping down will put you into a dive. So if you get out of the area, then go back in and get into your where you can dive instead of just the... Then you can dive and you have freedom of flight. If you get back into where swiping down just makes you fall, go back out, get that control back, and then come back in. I don't know if this is a bug, if it's intended, if I'm just not doing something right, but it finally worked for me this way. I've just, see here I'm falling when I swipe down, when I move my finger down the screen. Not swiping down, but moving my finger down the screen like a dive. Get out of the area to where I don't do that anymore. Pulling my finger down now makes me dive, so I can go back in and then continue on getting these things. I think I had an easier time from here. I mean, my finger's on the screen the whole time, but moving the finger down was just making me fall. So it's like I was confused, and so it finally worked. And I finally got the quest on this account anyway, not on my main one. So the hardest part is finding where the darn things are. If you chirp, you will see them sometimes. Sometimes I was not seeing the beacon. There's a number of them. There's a beacon right there. Yeah, I think I had an easier time. But see the little lights that are following me? Those never went away, even after I got the call, after I got the emote. You see the little gray arrow on the screen shows you where my finger is going, where I'm telling it to go. You have to take your finger off the screen to flap, though you don't have to do too much flapping here. And of course you have to lift your finger to call. There's one up above. It's like once you get into it, you have an easier time once you just get into the whole thing. It's actually a cool, I mean, it's hard to get through here because everything is moving, spinning. So once you get control and can fly consistently, it's actually a pretty fun quest. Crash. And that was it. Done. And unlike the other emotes, Manticore, it is yours from the get-go. As soon as you collect it, you have it. You do not have to finish the level. That is also true of I think it's true of all the calls. I think. Don't hold me to that. So now, as you know, we would then go back down the race, finish, and then we would go down to Wasteland. So Wasteland is coming up next.